It's just crazy, man. I feel like, once you have 7 different fighters that come up positive in your camp, for performance enhancing drugs, I think somebody should take a look at that camp. Like, hey, what are they doing in there? You know what I mean? But nobody wants to ask questions. Nobody wants to say nothing. So it's not even.
In himself, I don't know why he wouldn't fight me, especially since seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which including him. He never got off.
You think he's on steroids?
Of course. How does five?
You saw De La Hoya's
How do five people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids?
David Benavidez is demanding a full-blown investigation into Canelo's drug scandal before any fight involving Crawford or anyone else takes place. He's pointing to Canelo's long history of steroid violations to highlight what he calls a pattern of dishonesty from the fighter and his entire team. Benavidez is baffled at how boxing seems to turn a blind eye to clear signs of paid abuse, all while protecting its biggest stars. The controversy escalated when David Benavidez questioned why a camp with 7 positive tests hasn't faced any official scrutiny. He argues that the boxing authorities' inaction exposes bias, shielding famous fighters and teams while swiftly punishing lesser-known athletes. Benavidez warns that ignoring these violations could seriously damage the sport's reputation and its credibility among fans worldwide.
I feel like, once you have 7 different fighters that come up positive in your camp, for performance enhancing drugs, I think somebody should take a look at that camp. Like, hey, what are they doing in there? You know what I mean? But nobody wants to ask questions. Nobody wants to say nothing. So it's not even. I find that kind of really messed up, and it's really biased, because if it was our camp, we had 7 guys coming out positive for steroids, it'd be like, man, you guys need to take that guy's license away. You can't let him move around like that, and we would be suspended right away. But the cash cow always wins. Some people like to stay quiet. Some people don't like to say nothing. But that's 7 guys. That's 7 different people. And that's just something that you cannot ignore them.
Benavidez emphasized that all fighters should face year-round drug testing, slamming the usual excuses offered after positive tests. He insists this would eliminate the loopholes many camps exploit to hide violations. According to him, performance-enhancing drugs distort the natural order, undermining boxing's core values of discipline, relentless hard work, and genuine talent. Benavidez warns that ignoring this threatens the sport's integrity and the spirit of fair competition.
Like everybody's going to say that. Oh, they don't know what happened. I think just Canelo needs to stop having barbecues at his house. That's what needs to stop happening.
Yeah, it's definitely an issue in the sport, and I think the only way to resolve it, right, is that everyone needs to be on 365 testing.
I'm support that. It's just crazy that I didn't really know how big of the problem the steroids was, but people really be out here taking steroids. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like that takes away from you as a man if you're trying to be as good as you can, and then you have to take another performance-enhancing drug to get there. That kind of takes away from chasing the greatness. But I mean, that's just the way I think. I don't know how everybody else thinks. I don't cut corners. When it's time to train, I'm not scared of hard work. I'll work 3-4 months, and that's just how it is with me. But I don't know how other people think.
After repeated calls to drop back to 168 pounds for a Canelo showdown, Benavidez has drawn a firm line. He currently weighs 175 pounds and insists he has earned his spot in the division. Refusing to chase what he calls a fantasy fight, he says there's still plenty of time to make it happen. For now, his focus is sharp, going after opponents who are truly ready to step into the ring and face him head-on.
So whatever happened at 168, I want to go back to 160. I'm good at 175. I'm world champion here. So if you want to come up to fight at 175, I'm all good with that. But right now, I can't live in this fantasy world where, like, oh, maybe I'm going to get this fight, maybe this and that. I've done my job. I've done everything to get this fight. It's one of the biggest fights in boxing. A person don't want to make it happen, I'm not going to waste my time trying to make a fight happen with a person that doesn't want to fight me. So I'm just trying to fight the people who are really trying.
This isn't David's first worry, though. Anthony Yarde is set for November 22nd, and Benavidez expects sparks to fly. Yarde is pouring everything into his 3rd shot at a world title, making him a formidable opponent. Benavidez promises to meet that intensity head-on, delivering a performance packed with drama and skill that will keep fans glued to their seats from the opening bell to the final punch.
He has a lot of experience. This is the 3rd time at a world title, so I know he's going to leave it all on the line, November 22nd. But like I said, I like to go to war too. I'm not going to back down from him. He's not going to back down from me. So let's have some fun November 22nd. Let's give the people what they want to see. Like I said, any shot can change the fight. So like I said,
He wants to go to war. We're okay with that. Let's go to war.
Joe Rogan believes a showdown between Canelo and Crawford would be electrifying, but Benavidez remains cautious. Rogan insists Crawford has the skill and ring IQ to challenge Canelo despite the size difference. He envisions a strategy built on swift movement and lightning-fast entries and exits, reminiscent of Ray Leonard's legendary fight against Marvin Hagler. Rogan warns that Canelo could be in trouble because he relies heavily on big shots these days, which might leave him exposed to Crawford's sharp, tactical style.
Crawford. Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think Canelo is slowing down, and Canelo is more of a one-punch fighter now than the combination fighter he was when he was young.
Do you think Terence Crawford can Canelo Alvarez?
Yeah, I think he can win.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to win, but I think he can win. He's going to have to box a brilliant fight.
Ray Leonard could beat Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. Why do you say that? Same equation. Get in, get out. Get in, get out.
Yeah.
Over and over and over. He's got to figure the angles and the approaches that will allow him to step in, land to the body, or occasionally upstairs, and then get out.
And Benavidez, on the other hand, is sure that Canelo and his group are not to be trusted. He says the whole gang is dirty and points out 5 past paid violations involving Alvarez's team. He asks Canelo, who is said to be a confident winner, why he keeps avoiding him, saying that the fact that he has done this before speaks louder than any press release.
In himself, I don't know why he wouldn't fight me, especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which including him, he never got off.
You think he's on steroids?
Of course. How does 5?
You saw Delaware.
How do 5 people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids? Right. All those fucking dudes.
Antonio Tarver agreed with Crawford that he is a real threat to Canelo, saying that Crawford is a skilled boxer who is already mentally ready for the fight. Tarver praised Crawford's footwork and fight IQ, but he also said that in this case, skill and drive might be more important than strength. He also made it sound like Canelo would have to get back to his best in order to pass such a test.
Terence got to be Terence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. And he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends. You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He's visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time. You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terence Crawford. Because weight ain't going to make the difference. It ain't going to be the weight. It's going to be the skill set. It's going to be the skill set and how bad they want it. Because both of them going to get shit.
Tarver also talked about Canelo's controversial claim that Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather Jr., at least the Mayweather he faced. Tarver agreed that Mayweather was the smartest boxer in the world, even though Crawford is stronger. He made both boxers look like smart strategists, but he told people that it takes more than skill to beat Mayweather's reputation.
Biggest fight of the century. I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Canelo says he feels that Crawford is actually better than Mayweather. What did you make of when he said that?
Now, when you look at, I don't know, bro. When you look at the time he's facing, like right now, he's facing Crawford. He may mean that this time Crawford may be better than the Floyd that he faced way back when. Now, Floyd, when he fought Canelo, he was money made in. He wasn't a pretty boy Floyd. He was money made, so he was making the transition. I kind of get what he's saying. Now, we can say this. Crawford, I think, has always been a better puncher than Mayweather. Punching-wise. You feel me? Hurting people, knocking them out, getting them out of there. I think his power has always been a little better than Mayweather. But skill for skill is hard, bro. It's hard to go against Mayweather. A guy that processed boxing better than anybody. Like, that's one of the big thinkers in the ring, like me. We were thinkers, bro. We process that shit like this, bro. You feel me? Speed, power. I need one round to figure out what I'm...
Benavidez, on the other hand, was also worried about the rumored super fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford. He warned that Crawford's quick switch between 3 weight classes could hurt him badly. He believes there is a reason for weight groups. Benavidez is also getting ready for his own fight against Anthony Yarde. He thinks Yarde will be tough, technical, and driven in a big fight.
Only because Terence Crawford is coming up 3 weight classes.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that he doesn't have the ability to hurt him. He obviously does. He's really technically sound. He's a great fighter. But sometimes when 3 weight classes is different. It's like if I had to go up right now trying to fight Anthony Joshua or Gypsy King, you know what I mean? Like, I believe I could win if I don't get hit. But if I get hit, you know what I mean, that you got to worry about that. So that's really just where I'm at with that. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. You know, you never want to doubt Terence Crawford out, but, you know, there's weight classes for a reason.
And lastly, Anthony Yarde, we mentioned how much is on the line for him. What are you expecting out of his game?
I'm expecting him to, you know, be the best Anthony Yarde he is. You know, he's sharp. You know, he has good reflex. He has good defense. So this is why we took the fight, because he does a lot of stuff good, and that's what's gonna motivate me, you know, to go in there, be on my P's and Q's, and, you know, make it a fight. At the end of the day, it looks like, you know, it looks like a juicy fight. It looks like he's not going to back up. I'm not going to back up.
David Benavidez isn't backing down, even as the heat rises around Canelo Alvarez. He's realistic. Moving up 3 weight classes to face Terence Crawford is no small challenge. Crawford is technically brilliant and dangerous, but Benavidez notes the size difference could make a huge impact,